Coming into your comfortable seat this morning, whatever that means for you. Give yourself a little wriggle and jiggle. Let the body get sorted. You can have your legs stretched out, your legs crossed. Perhaps you prefer to kneel. Just find some upright position that's comfortable for you. Let the hands rest on the knees or in your lap. And let your eyes fall closed. Focus on relaxing the belly first of all. When our belly is soft, it gives us room to breathe. Let the belly release. Let the spine gently lift away from the floor. Push into the back of the head slightly so that the whole of the length of the spine is balanced and the head is sitting comfortably on top of the shoulders and on top of the spine. So you haven't got weight in your head, but it's simply balancing there. Begin to focus on your breathing. Doing slow, deep breaths in and out. Allow yourself to release with each out breath. Relaxing the shoulders. Releasing the lower body against the floor each time you breathe out. Feeling the space, the expansion each time you breathe in. We're going to slowly start to move our arms in this gentle meditative movement as we breathe. Let the hands come down beside you. And as you inhale, slowly lift your arms up above your head. And as you exhale, slowly bring your hands down the center line of your body. Inhale to lift. Exhale to descend. Keep that movement going. I'm going to change it up slightly. As you next inhale, keep your right hand down, extend your left arm past your ear. As you inhale, bring yourself back up to center and exhale that arm down. Inhale to the other side, left hand down, right arm across. Exhale, release. Changing sides, keep that flow going. You can use half a breath or a full breath on each curve to the side. Find a rhythm that works for you. Coming into the second side, and then we're going to go back to that first movement. Exhaling the hand down, then inhale both arms up. And then exhale, bring them down the center line of the body. And change into the side bend. Other side. And then inhale both arms up. And exhale the arms down. Coming into the side bend action again. Letting your breath start the movement. And then the body follows. And then the opening and the space for the ribs. And exhale, bring the hands down. And then gently release the hands back to the knees. Let your eyes close and turn your mind inward. Noticing what's happening inside the body. How does your mind feel? Your emotions, your thoughts, your physical self, your breath. Has anything changed from that brief practice? As you next exhale, let your eyes blink open. I'm going to extend the legs out in front of us, giving some circles to our ankles, one direction and then the other. And then bending the knees up, bring yourself over to the wall space, and we're going to take our legs up the wall. So to get into legs up the wall position, you want to hike one hip up so that you've got one hip on the floor and one hip up on the wall, and then maneuver yourself so the legs are coming up and you're swinging your torso around and lying back onto the floor. Stretch the legs up, give yourself a little wriggle to come further into the wall if you'd like to. Take your arms down beside you. Let the shoulder blades rest against the earth. And begin to soften here. So once you've found your shape, your legs are up, let yourself relax into it. Now, if you don't have wall space, you can do this in the center of the room, extending the legs up into the air. Often it's nicer to have a cushion or a pillow or a blanket under the sacrum to do that. Just gives you that little bit of height so that your body can be more comfortable with the legs extended. The other option is to come into caterpillar pose, where you're folding forward over your straight legs. So you can do any of those variations. If your legs are up the wall and it's comfortable to do so, you might like to take your arms overhead. You can rest one hand inside the other, you can hold onto your elbows, or you can stretch your arms out along the floor. Whichever position you choose, try to find a place where that weight of the arms can sink into the earth so that you're not holding them up, but letting that whole shoulder girdle relax. We're changing the orientation of our shoulder blades and the humerus bone in the socket of that glenohumeral joint. It's a really nice way to bring a little bit of different energy into that joint and to help the synovial fluid get into all the spaces. If you'd like to, you can always take height under your sacrum in this position, but it's not necessary. This is a really good pose to do at the end of the day, particularly if you've been standing a lot. It's quite restive for the legs and the feet. A lovely way to ease yourself towards sleep. You might like to let your eyes fall closed, relaxing the back body against the earth. If you're doing this pose at home, particularly in the evening before bed, you can stay here for a lot longer, 10, 15, 20 minutes, however long your body feels good for being here. But when you do stay for a long time, even for only the time we'll be in it today, you want to make sure that you come up very carefully, roll to your side, stay on your side for a good few breaths so that you don't become lightheaded and dizzy. So make sure that your blood is moving around the body as it should before you stand up. There's many variations that we can do at the wall. We're going to do some of them today. But one of the ones we're not going to do, I'm going to show you now. And this, if you want to go into it, if you've got the space, you can. I haven't got the space. But if I had a wall that was slightly bigger, I could stretch my legs open and then start to I'll be stimulating the inner thigh. So I'm getting the yin meridians of the spleen, the liver and the kidney to be stimulated. Check in with your arms. Change your arm position if you need to, particularly if the arms feel like they're getting pins and needles or going to sleep. You do not want to leave them in that place. It's not good long term. So find a different position, or even if they're feeling fine, maybe just change their position slightly. Give that glenohumeral joint a slightly different orientation. Sink the weight of the pelvic bone down. Relax through the glutes, through the hips. Let the legs be caught against the wall. And if you're doing this in the middle of the room, let them hang in the air, releasing as much as possible. And then as you're ready to, we're going to come into a squat position on the wall. So if you were in the middle of the air, you'd come into happy baby. But for us, we're going to take our feet a little wider apart, slide them down the wall, and then I'm bringing my hands, making shelf with the palm of my hands, so that the outer thigh towards the knee can rest on the hands. You can do it without, but I find it just destabilizing and my legs want to flop all over the place. My body doesn't feel supported. So have a little play. Do what feels good for you. We're not here for very long. I'm treating this as a rebound. So I'm supporting myself for that rebound. Anatomically, not everyone will be perfectly aligned for this, but you can take your feet a little higher if you need to, or you can drop them down a little lower. Find that place that's right for you. From this rebound, we're going to move into butterfly pose, again against the wall, taking the soles of the feet together, the backs of the feet against the wall, the knees fall open. You can, if it's uncomfortable, if you've got bony feet like me, it's quite nice to place a blanket behind the feet, or you can even circle your ankles. It's not needed. The other option is you can take hold of the feet, wrap your hands around them and then relax. So you're not actually using the wall at all. So that is one option. It does increase the intensity in the hip region though, so keep that in mind. Wherever you decide to be, either holding the feet or relaxing the arms, consciously choose a position for the arms again. Could be out to either side, resting beside you. Maybe you rest your hands on the inner thighs. See if you can let the legs relax. It doesn't matter if the soles of the feet open like a book. It's the areas of the body that you're stimulating. Like in that wide-legged variation, we've got some stimulation to the inner thigh and the groin. So working with those yin channels. If you were not using a wall, you can do this pose lying on your back on the floor. Supta Baddha Konasana is one name, or reclined butterfly. Or you could sit up and forward fold over the legs. Notice where you're breathing into. And try to encourage the breath all the way down into your belly. As you next exhale, and to bring the knees together again and stretch the legs back up the wall. Bring your arms down beside you. Take the feet a little distance apart and start to circle the feet. Working in one direction and then the other. And then coming to stillness, bring the legs back together. Slide your right knee towards the head and cross your right ankle over your left thigh, right up towards the knee. If there's a lot going on in your right hip, you may simply want to stay here. Or if you can, begin to slide that left foot down the wall. Only take it as far as you have enough sensation in your hip. So it might not be very far. Keep your right foot flexed. The left foot is resting against the wall. Maybe your right hand is propping that right thigh, so keeping the hip open and pushing the knee away from you. The left arm can rest wherever it's comfortable. Sink the weight of your hips down as your body invites you to go a little deeper. You might find that you can slide that left foot a little bit further down, bringing additional sensation into that area around the piriformis, around gluteus medius. Notice what you're feeling around the outer hip and the glute. And if you've sunk your foot lower and it's just too strong, simply inch the foot back up the wall. Trying to find that place where you have some sensation but not too much. The next exhalation, return the left leg to being long against the wall, unwind the right leg and bring it up to meet the left. And then we'll go straight into the other side, bending the left knee. Taking the ankle bone just to the other side of the thigh, up close to the right knee, Maybe using your hand, your left hand on the inside of that left thigh. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you can slide the right foot to step on the wall, bringing the legs a little closer in toward you, keeping your left foot flexed. Notice that it might feel a little tighter from one side to the other, and also that the other side became more soft as we stayed in the pose. So this side might feel a little tighter just because it's at the beginning of the pose and we were at the end of the other side. Focus on your breath. Let the hips, let the buttocks relax. Notice what's going on for you in that left hip, in the outer region of that hip, the inner region. Find a place for your right arm to rest that's comfortable for you. Maybe out to the side, maybe on the floor next to you. Taking your last few breaths on the side. Maybe sliding that foot a little lower if that works for you. I'm obviously tighter in this hip than in my right side because I can't get my right foot is low. So you work to where is appropriate for your body. We're not trying to be exactly the same on both sides. Simply finding that place of sensation and letting ourselves rest there. Letting go, sinking in. And then the next inhalation, slide the right leg back up the wall, left leg joining it. And then for our rebound, choose where you'd like to be. Maybe legs straight up the wall, maybe the legs out to either side, perhaps coming into butterfly for a moment, or coming into that wall squat position. Taking 3 or 4 breaths in the rebound. And as you next exhale, we're going to roll onto one side away from that wall, bringing your hand under your head, taking a moment to readjust to where you are. And then if you've moved off your mat to come to the wall, make your way back onto the mat, wherever that happens to be for you. I'm lying on my left side, so if you could do the same, it just means that we've got the same side working, or we're moving the same side. I've got my head cradle in my hand, but the other option for you, if you prefer, which I'll probably move to, is to stretch the left arm out along the floor and have the head resting on the upper arm. And then from here, straighten your legs away from you so that you're nice and long on the earth. The right hand, the front hand, is used for a balancer. So if you feel like you're going to fall forward, put that hand there and let it stay as your stabilizing wheel, your trainer wheel. And then bend your right knee, placing the right foot onto the inner thigh, pretty much on the kidney line. So the kidney channel that runs down the inside of the leg, but on the back side of the inside of the leg. So this is tree pose, coming into Vrksasana, but without standing up. If you'd like to, you can rest your head down on the upper arm, as I mentioned before, slowing the breath down, releasing into the pose, keeping the right hand there to help balance you. Let the belly be soft. We've already done some work at opening up that right hip. So you might find you can point the right knee more towards the ceiling than what you would if we hadn't have done that prior work. The bottom leg is predominantly straight, but if you need to, you can bend that leg if that helps with your balance. For now, hopefully the right hand on the floor is enough. And then from here, we're going to go into a slightly different position. I would suggest bending your bottom leg a little bit just for support. Reach out with your right hand, take hold of the outside of the foot, or you can hook your middle and index fingers around your big toe and stretch that foot up towards the ceiling. Of course, if the hamstrings are so tight that this is impossible for you, instead hold the calf
or even hold behind the back of the thigh, although the calf will give you an easier chance of straightening that leg. But if you can do so, take hold of the foot. Just check that your head, the back of the head is in line with the spine. You're comfortably pillowed on your upper arm, or you can have your head resting on the support of your hand. Breathing into the back space of the leg. Relax the shoulders. We're only here for a short while, maybe one more breath. Of course, if you want to stay longer, you can. And then release the hold on the foot. Swing that leg all the way towards the floor in front of you and stretch that leg out. If you want to make this really intense, you can bend the bottom leg and take hold of the foot with the hand, or simply leave it resting on the floor and open your arm back behind you. So whichever option works for you. If you'd like to, you can take a little bit of a cushion under your head, so you've got that nice bit of soft support. Left cheek down, or back of the head to the floor, looking up towards the ceiling. You choose which is the most comfortable option for you. If it's too strong to have this right leg straight, you can let the leg bend, coming more into cat pulling its tail. Whenever you notice that you've lost your focus on your breathing, bring your attention back to those slow, steady breaths, back to the sensation in your body. Repeating this as many times as you need, without judgment, with a sense of love and compassion. Coming into the last few breaths in this pose on the side. And you're ready to come out. Think before you do where you'd like to have your rebound. Would you prefer to lie on your back? Would you prefer to lie on your belly? Or perhaps your side? If you're holding your bottom foot, let go of it. Let the top leg come down and either roll onto back, belly or side. I've chosen back for my rebound with my knees bent, but you may choose something different. Close your eyes and notice, what does it feel like when you compare the right side to the left side? We're going to head into the other side. I'm going to just sit up and turn around so that I stay facing the screen. But you may just want to roll to your other side. Choose if you want to cradle your head, or if you would like to stretch the arm out and rest the head on the upper arm. Or you can always alternate, find one and then the other. Get yourself comfortable on your right side first, and then stretch your legs out along the floor. From here, step the left foot in and bring the sole of the foot onto the inside of the thigh. Check that the back of the head is in line with the spine. Use your left hand as a balancing agent here. You might find the side you balance better on. I can balance much more comfortably on my right side than my left. Weird, but it is the way it is. Let the bottom leg relax. Allow the stimulation of the foot onto that inner groin to bring stimulation to that kidney channel. Check in with the head. Where is the right position for your head and arm to be? Let yourself be supported here. Soft belly. Deep, slow breath. From this position, we're going to
transition to having our left leg in the air. So you might want to stay down on your upper arm or come up onto your hand for this. You can take hold of the outside of the foot or first two fingers wrapped around the big toe. Stretch the leg up. If that's too much of a stretch for your arm, hold on to the back of the calf. Or you can always hold the thigh, although the calf's probably a better option. This is a fairly young pose right in the middle of two yin poses. So accept that it's going to be using more muscles than what our yin poses typically do. Let yourself enjoy that sense of opening and stretch through the back of the left leg. You can have your bottom leg bent. As I mentioned, I balance much more easily on the side, which is why I didn't say it earlier. But if you're not as comfortable balancing here, then bend that bottom leg. Make it as stable as you can. Back of the neck long. And then from this pose, we're going to come into a supine twist. And it's a relatively strong twist. Oh, I forgot to mention, you can also use a strap over that foot if you'd like to. So that's an option if you've got a belt or something handy. Bring the left leg all the way across the body to the floor. And maybe help hold it there in place with your right hand. Maybe you bend your bottom leg up, which is your right leg, and take hold of the foot with the hand. Or maybe you leave it as it is and simply open the arm back behind you. Choose your position. Grab a blanket if you'd like one for the head. It's a little bit of softness under the head. Can be nourishing and supportive. We don't necessarily need a lot of height here, but it can be good to have a little bit of height. Relax your belly. Choose the position of your head. It's a yin pose. We want to be a little soft. So you can have your right ear down or the back of the head to the floor. Best not to turn to look over the left shoulder. It does make it a little too intense when we're staying for such a long time. If you want to, you can let that top leg bend a little bit. So it's a more traditional cat pulling its tail shape, rather than keeping it straight the whole time, which can be a little bit intense. So find the right position for the legs. And once you've got your shape, let yourself sink in. Whole of the front of the torso relaxed. Open across the front of the chest. And breathe. Breathing in, I know this is the perfect moment. Breathing out, I know it is the only moment. Breathing in, perfect moment. Breathing out, only moment. On your next exhalation, we're going to slowly start to make our way out of this pose, releasing the bottom leg if you had hold of it, rolling yourself over towards your belly and come down onto your belly, perhaps turning your head the opposite way to what you just had it. So the left cheek is now down and the arms are resting beside you. Notice the difference between the two sides now. Does it feel more balanced, more coordinated? Is there more of a similarity between the left and the right sides? And then as you next inhale, we're going to lift ourselves up into Sphinx pose, bringing the elbows up underneath the shoulders, a little bit in front of them. Maybe the palms of your hands together, or maybe the palms of the hands onto the floor. You choose which you prefer for your Sphinx. Try to find a position that lets your body relax as much as possible, particularly across the shoulders. Release the legs, sink the belly downward. If this is too strong for your body, if there's stuff going on in your lower back, You can use some height, a blanket under your hip points or somewhere along the front of the body. Find the place for you that's appropriate. Or the other option is you can rest down with your forehead on your hands or come into sleeping swan after a couple of minutes, changing sides. And you decide where you want to be. Feel the movement of the breath. Let the whole of the front of the body be soft. As you next exhale, start to think about where your body is on the earth and where your body's going to move to. What needs to happen for it to move? We're going to come into a brief rebound and then we're going to go into frog pose, which is a lovely decompressor for the lower back. So first of all, begin to let your elbows slide out to either side. Let your forehead rest down onto your hands. You can turn your head or leave the forehead straight down. If you prefer, you can let your arms come beside you. Breathe into the lower back. Notice how tender it might be feeling. The sensations that you're receiving, the feedback from your lumbar spine. And we're going to come into frog pose. So lift the head, bring the hands to either side and carefully push yourself back upright, bringing your knees out to either side and either keeping the big toes together for tadpole or taking the feet in line with the knees inside of the feet to the earth. Let yourself come down onto your elbows. And just check in here. How does this feel for you? Is this all right? Can you relax your belly? You might like to grab a blanket or a pillow to put under your chest if you're able to come down a little bit further and support yourself here. Or you might be fine resting directly down onto the floor. You can have your head turned to the one side, or you can rest your forehead onto your stacked hands. If you do have your head turned to the side, make sure you change and turn it to the opposite side at some point, so that your neck is getting even stimulation. If you haven't turned your head to the opposite side, if you have it on its side, do so now. Taking a breath in here. As you exhale, bring your hands to either side of your chest. Push into your hands. And we want to take our time to lift out of this pose. So very gently and slowly walk the knees back in toward one another. And then we're going to come down onto our back. So turn yourself around, stretch out through the front body. Let your arms rest down beside you. Completely relaxed. I didn't mention it, this class is all about renewal. In particular, you'll probably feel that renewal through the hip spaces, the area that we've had predominant focus on today. Although all parts of the body, you've had a little bit of work. From our resting pose, we're going to come into reclined shoelace, bending the knees. But before we do that, we're just going to do a little bit of dynamic work. With the knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor, as you inhale, lift up through the hips and take the arms overhead. As you exhale, release the arms and the hips down. A little bit of opening through the front spaces of the body. Lifting the hips as high as you comfortably would like to, maybe staying up there for a breath if you want, or moving more dynamically up and down. One more time. And we're going to bring the knees in towards the chest and cross the right knee over the left. Hug those knees in a little bit, readjust yourself as you need to, and slide your hands down towards your ankles. You might need to lift your head and shoulders off the floor to do so. And then once you've got hold of your ankles or your shins or wherever you can reach, maybe it's the tops of the feet, let the upper back rest back against the earth. If you place a little traction on the feet and pull them in towards the outer hips, you'll get additional sensation through the hips. And you can relax them a little bit. This doesn't have to be a really intense pose. It's the supine version of shoelace. So already we're taking a lot of the weight of the body out of the equation. So you're no longer pushing your body weight, or gravity isn't pulling your body weight onto your hip spaces. Notice how different it feels for you on this, in this orientation of lying on your back. Just a couple more breaths here. And from this pose, we're going to come into twisted roots. So the legs stay as they are, but release the hold of the legs and let the legs descend to the left-hand side of the body. You might feel a nice stretch all around the outside of the hip. Let your arms open to either side. Relax the legs and arms onto the floor. Soften through the belly. And breathe here. Check in with your toes and your feet. Making sure that they're relaxed. Feel the sense of relaxation spreading all the way up your body. We're going to carefully come out of this pose. To do so, unwind your legs first and then roll onto your back. Hug the knees in towards the chest and take some little rocks from side to side. And then release back towards the floor. This time we're going to cross our left knee over our right. Slide your hands down your shins. Take hold of your ankles, resting your head and shoulders back to the floor. If you can't reach your ankles, hold where you can. Or maybe you just want to stay with the hands interlocked around the knees. If you want to increase the intensity, if the body is okay with that, you can place some traction by pulling the hands, pulling on the hands. From this position, we're going to come into twisted roots. Release the hold on your ankles or legs and slowly descend the crossed legs down to the right-hand side of your mat. Opening your arms up to either side. You can bring your knees higher to get more intensity or stretch them away from you to lessen the intensity. Relax across the shoulders and the arms. Finding a natural place for your head to rest. Feet, toes relaxed and heavy. Closing your eyes, let your gaze turn inward. Next, exhale. Begin to uncross your legs and carefully roll yourself onto your back, readjusting yourself on your mat. Maybe you'd like to hug the knees into your chest, circling the knees or rocking. When you're ready to start to stretch yourself out along the floor, preparing for Shavasana. Let the legs extend, the arms rest beside you. Place a blanket over you if you are cold. Make sure that you are keeping warm. Perhaps a blanket under the head. Your whole body start to sink towards the earth. Turn your attention inward, allowing yourself to connect the body and the breath. With each breath in, feel a sense of opening and expansion, connecting to the earth below you. With each breath out, let yourself sink a little more deep, dropping in, dropping down. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just breathe. Placing your focus on your breathing. Begin to prepare your body for movement. Starting small, wriggling fingers and toes. Building up till you can stretch out your arms and your legs. Plugging the knees in towards the chest. Make some little rocking movements, some circling movements. And then roll to your side before making your way up to sitting. Bringing the hands together in prayer position in front of the heart space. Softly bowing the head in honour of your practice. Namaste.